What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Comeback Athlete Podcast, where we do one-on-one coaching with former athletes, and we help them with everything from their warm-ups to their cool-downs, nutrition, life, and everything in between. We offer one-on-one coaching that you get to have daily communication, bi-weekly phone calls, and then we also have labs that we do quarterly with you, as well as mindset coaching, and we have a group of professional coaches like Coach Nick today who we're going to be interviewing. So today, we're just going to jump in and get to know him a little bit. Obviously, I know you, but our audience doesn't know you as well. So a couple of things I thought we could do just to have some fun is give us a quick rundown on where you grew up and some of the sports you played growing up, and then what really got you into fitness, and then where you went from there when you kind of knew this is what you wanted to do.
All right. I'm Coach Nick. Originally, I grew up in Jersey. I grew up there until college. I went to college in Connecticut, and then I moved down to Florida once I graduated, and I've been down in Tampa, Florida since. Growing up, I played every sport probably, competitively, basketball, baseball, soccer, a little bit of volleyball, dabbled in like some beach volleyball and here and there, surfing, skateboarding, you name it, I was kind of doing it all. And then into college, I just committed to soccer. And then all my life kind of just been a gym rat. After practice, hanging out longer. After one practice, going and playing another sport. And my dad just encouraged me and my siblings to just like explore all sports, not just like pick one and try to burn out in it. So just throughout middle school, high school, we were outside bike riding always, or playing all different sports, going from one practice to the next practice to the next practice. So he really definitely believed in the multi-sport approach. And then with that, I just always wanted to stay active. Didn't really get into dedicated fitness until college. I did push-ups and stuff in high school and all that fun stuff, but never really committed until sophomore year of college. One of my teammates on the soccer team was yoked out of his mind, and I would hang out after practice and just kind of lift with him. And that kind of really got me into it. And I was in kind of exercise science. And so from there, didn't really know what I wanted to do, but knew that I wanted to be around fitness in some capacity. So
Yeah. What college did you go to again?
Sacred Heart University in Connecticut.
In Connecticut. And was that D2, D1?
D1, yeah.
Nice.
Small conference, Northeastern Conference. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Played for a couple of years, stopped, committed to school. At the time was kind of debating med school, PT school, all that stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So did you wind up you did exercise science there?
I did exercise science there, and then moved on to Tampa. I enrolled at University of Tampa for their master's program in exercise science and nutrition science.
Okay.
And did that, graduated from there. And then that's when like the pursuit of internships and coaching kind of began.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say were some of the ways that you when you stopped playing soccer, stayed in the gym in light of like doing a master's program, moving to a new area, like being busy, you were coaching during then somewhat. So like busy schedule, what were some of the ways you've stayed in your busy schedule now? What are been some of the things that you've done to kind of stay in the gym and make that kind of a staple for you?
Yeah. I think there's a discipline to it of like knowing I'll feel better if I'm consistently showing up. But honestly, since high school and college, like there's always just been that internal drive of being in and around the gym or in and around some sort of physical activity. It's like every day I want to be doing something. I want to be moving. I want to be like sweating. I want to be outside. I want to be kind of bettering myself. It doesn't mean I have to like lift every day. And it doesn't mean I have to do some sort of like structured programming every day, but just move every day is like a value that I kind of hold, is just like move your body, move it well, and like do something fun with it, rather than I think you can get into the weeds of feeling like you need to be in the gym every day progressing. And sometimes it might even be better to just like go do something fun. Maybe it's go swim in the ocean. Maybe it's go play pickup basketball. Maybe it's go play pickleball, whatever it is. I think it's just fitness is more than just how much can you curl and bench and stuff.
Right.
It's a lifestyle, and I've definitely embodied it for as long as I can remember. And it was something that I didn't even know, but I think my dad really encouraged me and my brothers to like be in that path, and without even me knowing it at the time. Like I didn't recognize the encouragement until now, looking back at it. Because when you're a kid, you're young. Sometimes you just want to hang out with your friends and do the dumb young stuff and not embrace it all. And then you look back and you're like, oh wow, I'm glad I did that.
100%. We just got back from our anniversary trip, and while we were there, I worked out every day. And it wasn't like a self-obsessive thing. It was more of just like my wife enjoys it.
Yeah.
We take an hour, went to the gym twice, and then I ran downtown, and then we went for hikes, and like, it's just fun for me to be able to, number one, feel good.
Yep.
And then number two, just like be able to do stuff and not feel like I can't do it.
Yep.
So like, I think part of the athlete in me was enjoying doing challenging things with my body and feeling like I can, and wanting to resist the atrophy as we age that I can't do something. That actually really bothers me as an athlete. So it's like and I had that even when I was competing in football and things, like when it was like something I couldn't do well. I remember when I played tight end at Frostburg State, and I was just terrible at catching the football. I just went through a season. It was mental. And I would just stay after, and they had this little rubber band football. It was like attached to the wall, and you would just throw, and it would come back and you catch it. And I would do like 100 each shoulder after practice, just to get better, because I just hated that I couldn't do something. So anyways, I think a lot of athletes have that, like, just got to move, got to do something challenging, and then feel like I want to prepare for the ability to not, like, anything that comes up. I don't want to feel like I can't do it.
Yep. You want to be ready for everything. And like, too many times you have the late 40s, early 50s all saying like, well, don't get old, wait till you get old, this happens. It's like, I don't think that has to be the case. Like, you are saying, yeah, wait till you get old, but it's like, what were you doing at 18, 19, 20, 30, 35? Like, you weren't adopting healthy lifestyle choices that would have prepared you for where you're at now. So it's like, I don't think just getting old means you can't squat anymore, you can't deadlift, you can't go play soccer, you can't go play basketball, you can't, like, there's a lot of things you can keep doing and should be able to do long into your 40s, 50s, 60s. You'll see it in CrossFit specifically with the masters guy. Like, all these age groups are proving that at 70 years old, some people can still do pull-ups and muscle-ups. And it's like, well, obviously God designed our body to be able to perform in whatever capacity it needs to for a long time, not just like 50, yep, now you just sit in a wheelchair. Like, that's just not
right.
So
you've done a tremendous amount of different types of fitness, from like CrossFit you competed in, you were a D1 soccer player. You have you done Hyrox yet?
Yep.
So you've done Hyrox, and then didn't you just run like a half marathon? Or
I did.
So you've done some really good endurance sports and endurance training, and then you've had some mixed modal and strength training. What would you say, through all of them, has been the most enjoyable for you, and what has been the least enjoyable, but you appreciated it?
I think, I will say that I think I try to be more of a strength athlete than I really am. That's not to say I'm not strong, but because of my soccer background and my just natural inclination, I think I'm better suited endurance wise. I can build strength, I get strong, I can move decent weight, but like, ultimately endurance tends to come a little bit easier for me. I don't put on weight that easily. So like, whenever trying to get stronger, it's tough to like build my mass and then continue to go up. But when it comes to endurance, like, if I don't do it for a while, after a couple sessions, like, I'm kind of back to where I was. And I think that's like a soccer, given how much I played and that background, I think I'm really just good at that. So the most enjoyable despite what I think I want to convince myself of, has been honestly like the Hyrox or the uh, half marathon, partly because I'm better at endurance, but also I didn't actually like train for them. I just like signed up and went and did them.
Mm.
And I'm not a runner like per se. I don't go necessarily and just run miles and miles and miles every day. Um, I did it because it was something I don't do. And I was like, well, let's see how fit I am. Like, can I just get up and go do this with minimal to no training for it or specific training for it? And I think that was the most enjoyable because it showed me that what I do on a daily basis does prepare me for it. Does it
Mm.
prepare me to podium or win? Absolutely not. That's a next level. But like to just go and do fitness and have fun with fitness, like that is what I love doing, all different kinds. The ability to just know that my training crosses all spectrums and I can go and do the event that I want has been the most enjoyable part of it. The least enjoyable is the parts of specific CrossFit training that don't come so easily due to lack of uh, strength ceiling. Like
Mm.
I'll always, it seems I just hit some ceilings. Maybe it's because of the dedication that I can give. I know to be at the top level of CrossFit, you got to just give a lot of time and
Oh yeah.
everything kind of has to center around your training. I don't have the luxury of that at the moment. So it's like, I think that's been uh, that CrossFit is least enjoyable for me, but the fact that the capacity to which I need to train at and dedicate, I just can't.
Mm.
Whereas it feels like with the endurance stuff, not that you can have go at it, but like I can just kind of slip into it and go. Uh, so yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah. So for the audience listening, you've been married 2 years now, 3 years,
2 years.
2 years, and you guys you're expecting your first.
Yes, we are.
Congrats.
End of
That's
July.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So getting ready for being dad and thinking about like kind of priorities. You have work, you have wife, you're about to have a kid. Like, how have you transitioned to view from being competitive and training for like particular goals to now just kind of keeping training in and trying to think through health
Yeah.
and all that? Like, how's that transition been for you? What's been challenging, and how's your mindset wrap around that now?
Mindset is it took a while, but it's great. Like I think I was very focused on pursuing the competitive route for the past probably 4 or 5 years. And I was locked in. I like a few years ago, like I had a perfect schedule. I had a gym. I knew my routine. Um, I had my own, like I had my meals designed, prepped. It was great. But I think as I've grown into the marriage and now expecting the kid, I do know that that needs to be. It's not gone forever, but it is on the back burner. And so I've shifted. I think back to my original. What like it's funny. What originally brought me into fitness was just like the fun. And that doesn't mean I'm not challenging myself. It doesn't mean I'm not training hard. It doesn't mean that I'm not trying to improve PRs and all that, but I'm just having fun with the fitness rather than getting so locked into like, okay, I need to train at this time. I need to have this amount of carbs beforehand. I need to make sure I have this afterwards. I need to sleep this amount. I know that I can't control 90% of that.
Mm.
And then when our baby comes, my life isn't about my pursuit of competition anymore. It's about how can I be the best father, be the best husband, and how can fitness help like foster that? Not like how can I carve everything else out to make fitness the idol.
Yeah.
Um, that's not it anymore. It probably shouldn't have ever been, but for a time it was, and it worked because I was on my own. But now it's like, okay, you need to restructure exactly what the priorities are and how can fitness complement your life, not the other way around.
Hmm. And like, kudos to you for even, being in such great shape right before your first kid. I just got into decent shape right before my first kid, but I like let myself go going into marriage, like post athlete, stop playing football and just kind of like, yeah, just kind of let fitness go. I was not always in good shape. That's the other extreme where it's like, you don't do it at all, right? And you
Yep.
kind of let yourself go. Well, then you're winding up hurting your family at some point there because I threw my back out a couple
Yep.
times. I couldn't help out with things. So there's that extreme, and then there's the other extreme of like I'm going to ignore my family and keep training the way I've always been
Yep.
training because I don't know what to do. And so Nick's mature beyond his years on that one, which is great. I'm gonna do a quick brag on you, and then we're gonna ask you a couple quick questions. So Nick's been working with Comeback for almost a year now. We hired you last, I think, August.
August, yeah.
Yeah. And so, when we were interviewing Nick was phenomenal resume, ton of education as a coach, ton of great internships and experience, has a high training clientele that he works with, from athletes to. Have you worked with grandmas? Can I say you've worked with grandmas?
Worked with a few.
You worked with a couple grandmas, right? So it's always good to have that variety and everything in between. So very versatile coach, very well, well versed in the sciences and just and so you're just been a blessing to us and what you add in value. So wanted to feature that, but give me your best PRs that the audience could have that you feel good about, and we'll go through the big three. Let's do bench, squat, deadlift, and then some runs or any other ollie lifts that you feel proud about, or gymnastics.
Bench is pretty weak, 245. Deadlift 405. That one I'm pretty happy about.
Yeah, and that you're not like a huge guy. You're like what, 170,
180, 180, 183.
183. That's pretty decent.
Yeah. Squat 335.
Okay.
Clean 245. That was pretty hang clean, or not hang clean. Power clean 340 or 245. So
that's a good power clean.
And then runs. When I was running, best mile time was 5:11.
Woo!
Yeah, that was fast.
That's way better than I ever had.
2 mile time was 11:47.
Dang, that's good.
But that was back in the pro days.
Pro days, yeah. Going after it. What was your Hyrox time?
Hour. I want to say like an hour 18, hour 15, somewhere around there.
That's not bad. What was the hardest part for you in the whole Hyrox competition?
The running. Prior to having done it, I've never ran more than probably 3 miles consecutive. So like other than in a soccer game accumulating that amount, but like I'd only ran 2 miles for the 2 mile trials that we had to do. And I ran a fun color run in high school. That was a 5K where you got spray painted at the end of your run. And like, that was the most I'd ever ran. When I took this on, it's 8,000 meters of running total. And then you obviously have the distractions of the ski, row, bike. So I think it was the running that really understanding the pace that I would need to hold. Because most people are going about it. At the time, this was 2021. So no one even knew what Hyrox was. And so I didn't even know how to go about it. And most of these guys that were in there were like runners. So like their runs were fast, but also recovery for them. Whereas I was trying to like sprint the whole thing at red line. And so I think that it was the running, definitely. Everything else was pretty, I mean, not easy, but it was simple, right? There's no complexity to it all. It was just like understanding how your runs A, are affected by the previous station that you were just at, but then B, like, what are your paces? What are you trying to hold? What's too much? What's too little? When can I push? When can I push? And I didn't have enough of my own understanding of my running ability to push when I didn't know when to do what. And so maybe I stayed on the too cautious for too long. Maybe I tried to push. I couldn't even tell you where or when I did it. Now, 4 years later, 5 years later, I'd have a very much better understanding of, okay, I've ran half marathon, I've ran miles and miles and miles just to see what my legs can handle. I know what it'll feel like. I know how to approach it. I know when to push. And chances are, if I do another one, it'll be with a partner, not by myself. So
I've trained somebody who's done both, and they said it's more satisfying to do it by yourself, but it's
Hmm.
more fun, obviously, to do it with a partner. So it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, if you're going to do it,
And
it's good to just go out and have fun. And you're in a season of more fitness needs to be fun.
fun. And you get to do it with someone, you get to do it with a group. Like I have a lot of friends in my community who there was about like 20 of them that went up to Atlanta last weekend or the weekend before when it was in Atlanta. And they just had a ton of fun. They got dinner the night before, and then just like all of them got to race either next to each other or in the same like time frame, so they got to cross paths or got theirs done and got to watch the rest of them go do it. So it was like it's just what they're doing really well is creating a very big community that's engaging, that's supportive, and that's fun to be around. The events are awesome. It's a cool place to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's it. It's all about the fun. The solo guys are all like just super serious about their endurance, and like if you want to get there, you got to put in
Some
years of
time.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's CrossFit level of training to
Oh
get
yeah.
that good at running and keep the pace
And
and
keep. Yep.
on everything else, and just so much lactic endurance at some point, just because, like you said, like going from doing, even though it's not real heavy, but the volume of doing like 100 wall balls and then going
Yeah.
running 100, a 1,000 meter row and then
And
run.
doing that row, yeah, like the at the wall balls, the luckily it's at the end, so you just finish, but like you basically black out during it, like you're just going. You, your legs are cashed, so you're just hanging on for dear life and knowing that like the finish line's right next to you, you can see it. So
Mm-hmm.
let me just go until I can't move and then fall over the line. Um,
All right.
but yeah,
In conclusion today, what would you say is your passion for coaching, and what's one thing that you want all of your clients to experience when they work with you?
I think my passion for coaching is ultimately seeing people achieve what they didn't think they could. And like by that, I mean, like I like to find the light bulb moment for them
Mm,
um, when they are having an issue with their deadlift or their squat or whatever it is. It's not about the weight on it. Like, yes, that's fun to watch. And I love seeing people hit new PRs and all that. But it's more when a cue and then an actual usage of that cue both line up and the client like feels that difference. And
mm,
like for so long, for however long they've been deadlifting, they've always had this issue or they've always felt their low back do everything, and so they've always stayed away from it or whatever. And just a couple cues working with them, even at a heavier weight than they're normally going to be used to, it all clicks. And like you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their face, like, and it happens across the board. It can be with anything, but it's specifically a lot of times, obviously, the deadlift is a obstacle that some people have to cross, and it's just like the minute they see it, or the hang clean, like you get someone that doesn't understand it, low exposure to it, all they want to do is muscle it up there, and then the minute they figure out that it's like weightless for a second and it clicks and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, this is so fun, and then from there it just escalates perfectly. I love that moment, the moment where they get to understand that they can do more than they ever thought they could, and it's like it speaks to more than just the lift itself. It's like you are so close to the breakthrough. All you need is just maybe a different cue or one more rep or whatever it is, and it just pushes you right through from training to life to whatever it is. That's the moment I kind of look for.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
that's a
want everyone
beautiful.
to experience that.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to be a part of and walk people through.
Yeah.
Um, so people, you can find Nick on our you can do our reach out on our website at comebackathlete.com. You can also go to our Instagram and hit our application to sign up, and or you can just DM Nick
Yep.
directly and find time, and we'll tag that in this post below or in the in the bio. So make sure that you reach out if you're looking for coaching and you want to take your, fitness to the next level, but maybe you're
Yeah.
in a season similar to Nick, your new dads out there or former athletes, a couple of years removed from college soccer. This is your guy. So let's hit him up and get after it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Blake.
Yep. See you guys and peace
Later,
out.
guys.